At the 92nd Street Y, and so nice to see all of you tonight. And I'm really excited to be in conversation, as they say, with the extraordinary Jennifer Grey. I just finished the book this afternoon. Yes, I'm a procrastinator. And it's absolutely wonderful. It's bracingly honest. Your writing is beautiful and so evocative and descriptive. And you know, when you stop and you reread a paragraph or reread a sentence, that's the kind of book it is. And I just loved every minute of it. So, and my husband's here tonight, and he will tell you that I spent all day like that and the weekend John. As well. That's okay. No. So I guess the first question I wanted to ask you is, why now? And has the idea of writing a memoir been gestating for a while with you?
Yeah, it does. It sounds like a little mouse.
You look like one of those people on TikTok
that's
now.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like that girl on TikTok. So this is my mini mic. Okay, so I'm going to just do this until somebody stops me.
Okay.
Or if it's just too annoying, just say stop.
No, you're fine.
So I did you see about how much I was grateful for this lady? Did you hear that part?
Yeah, she heard. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
all right.
But
thank you, and I'm happy to be here. And this is all about you. So
I understand, dude. But let me just say, I'm really grateful.
You all didn't celebrate Christmas. You're Jewish, and you went to Hal Prince's Christmas party
every year.
And honestly, it made me so want to be at that Christmas party. It was full of the most interesting, intriguing people, and then everybody got around the piano. Name some of the folks that were at that party on a regular basis.
I mean, it was
Dad was Joel Grey.
Still
Joel
is.
Grey.
Yes.
Sorry, yes. Joel. Nothing happened.
He's very much alive.
Sorry, your dad is Joel Grey. Your mom is Jo Wilder. You all were known as the 4 J's, right? It was...
My brother is Jimmy, who's now James.
Yeah.
Joe, Joel, and Jenny.
Yeah. So it sounds like your childhood was so much fun. And when you were a little girl, I think you might have been 7, if I recall correctly. So if you could start here and just read through there, that would be great. And can you do that with the mic?
Of course. So my dad originated the part of the MC in Cabaret on Broadway that Hal Prince directed, and it was just, my dad was everything, just my hero, and had the fun. He was just the funnest dad, and I just felt very special because he would let me come with him to matinees, and
that's great. Thank you. You know, and your dad later won an Oscar for Best Supporting Actor.
He won the Tony. He won the Oscar for the movie. Yes, he was definitely killing it.
That role wasn't. But before we get to that, I mean, you all you traveled, obviously. You went to, and it just sounded like so much fun. And your parents were both so loving. And
we went where I knew that it was what we needed to do because our family was about my dad's career.
Oh, we all know probably what it's like at a lot of these New York schools. And you were...
I took the cake.
You were, I mean. You can, well, why don't you explain?
Well, I basically have 2 speeds, off and high. And
as you watch, right, you know, you were doing blow.
Hold on, slow down.
I mean,
it's like, wait, can you give me dinner first? Oh my
you
Lord,
were staying
woman.
out all
Easy.
night.
Hold on. What you not?
You were 16.
Okay, so what happened was when you grow up in a family where you're the luckiest girl, you know you have the coolest parents, they have the best food from Zabar's. We go to, the, Lincoln Center, we go to the ballet, we see every show, we're friends with Bernadette Peters, we go to Dames at Sea. I'm just, listening
to Hal Prince's for his Christmas
party.
Yes,
but I'm in my room just looking at liner notes of,
Is that the Tracy, record? Maybe? Tracy, I don't know.
I'm going to let Tracy write her own book. I really try not to speak for anybody else. I can just tell you what I did, and it was good, what I did, until it was bad, and then it was terrible. But anyway, but what
And you know, I learned that you don't say Studio 54, you say Studio or 54.
Yeah, your pick.
Yeah, but you know, you were major. I know I've said it before, but it pains me, filling me with healthy shame every time I think about it.
It's true. It's but you know, the good news is they didn't know about a lot of it until they read this book.
Let's talk about the acting bug. You wanted to be an actor, but your folks wouldn't let you act as a little girl. They would let you dance. And so you had this love of dancing, but you also had this fear of dancing. Let you act as a little girl. They would let you dance. And so you had this love of dancing, but you also had this fear of dancing.
For the woman to be cast first, by the way. It's almost always the man's cast first. And this, I don't even know how many times it's been in this. I mean, I just knew that was rare.
So they bring some people in. One was Billy Zane, right? And then they
bring a bunch of guys.
A bunch of guys.
Any guys who
then rare. And then Patrick Swayze comes in, and you're just not that jiggy
Patrick
with
Swayze doesn't come in. They say really great. He was really. It was clear, and there was this energy that had its own. It had its own life.
In fact, you can watch the screen test on YouTube, which you mentioned in the book. So I did today, and it's fun to watch you all sort of just really connecting on that level. Having said that, it was a nightmare shooting that film, which was another really fun thing to read about. You know, you think it's, well, no. It was not in the Catskills. It was in places in Virginia.
Virginia and North Carolina.
My home state of Virginia. But you had to shoot it in the fall after all the guests had left these places.
We had to get
right?
it when it was cheap, when it was empty, right?
So you had people painting the autumn leaves green.
Yeah, exactly.
And it was pretty cold.
It was freezing in the lake. Freezing.
And you had to do that. You had to practice.
I mean, it was really, they had ambulances. It was just weird. And we had to look like we were just in love in the summer. And
a lot of people got sick. Patrick kept hurting his knee, right?
Yes. I mean, there was a lot of injury. It felt
and the
very
mosquitoes?
cursed. I'm a mosquito magnet. And I wouldn't, in the love scenes, I would just have to stop in between every take, and they'd have to cover my whole body, which was just, you know, because it wasn't a movie about, you know, the pox. So we had to like deal with that. It wasn't sexy. And
why don't you take it from there?
Okay.
And this is all about the lift.
And let me just say that there's something more energetically exciting and vibrant about tension than just gooey, I'm in love, crushy. There is something that worked for us because he was always such a good man. Like, we just were different. We were just not, we were ill-fitted, you know, ill-fitting romantic partners, but our bodies loved each other's bodies. You know what I mean by that?
All right.
That's it. Was it? Something charming like that?
Yeah, that was it. This is an R-rated conversation, apparently. But
well, I think Bush was always out, but for everybody. But it was like no nipple or butt crack. I think that was it. And they decided. And then she said to me, "Don't worry, no one will ever see this movie.
See?
We really need to get something else in the can for you. It's not your fault. No one will blame you for this."
And you were like, "Thanks."
I was like, "Sense?"
Yeah, it does. I mean, it does for me because I read the book, and I think it's clear that sort of in
the
many
struggle
of these
about how much does a woman, like, I think it's specific to women that ambition is ugly, or there's something that's not, I don't know. I just have always felt a slight conflict about really going for it. And now that I'm the new me, I'm going for it. And it's not easy because it's really like pushing myself to tell my story, to take myself out of the corner and to own my story and to know that it will displease people and disappoint people. And that's my journey, is to understand that I have a right to be out of the corner.
That's well said. And, you know, I didn't start with the prologue, but it sort of is, this whole notion is peppered throughout the book. And to paraphrase, help yourself, Gertrude Stein.
John Toll, who's a Academy Award-winning cinematographer, and he was shooting these incredible scenes. And I was shooting for about 4 months out at sea, 15 miles out at sea, just on these sailboats racing, and I had no makeup and very tan. It must have been really hard because no one understood it. The people who are close to me are like, what are they talking about?
Really cute story, a funny story about how you kind of had to become your own costume designer, which I got a kick out of.
With Tracy's help.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. You got some
my shorts.
some Bermuda
the shorts idea
jean
was
shorts like Tracy had on. That's so funny. Do you still keep in touch with any fellow Dirty Dancing co-stars? The final, this I think is a good way to wrap it up, because I know one of your favorite chapters, Jennifer, is something called Unbridled, which is towards the end of the book. And someone asks, I think Jen, I have to put my glasses on too. Jen, another Jen, what do you hope young women take away from your book? Because in a way, the final chapters are sort of a treatise, if you will, on sort of where we are as women and how we sometimes, or did sometimes, sublimate our own hopes and dreams and ambitions.
Yeah.
Well, that's a good way to end. The book is called Out of the Corner. Jennifer Gray, thank you.
Thank you,
That was
Katie.
fun. And as Susan mentioned, Jennifer will be autographing, signing copies of the book. I highly recommend it, and I guess it's going to be outside in the hall. I haven't been to the Y for a while, but you guys can figure it out. You're smart. Thank you for coming. And as Susan mentioned, Jennifer will be autographing, signing copies of the book. I highly recommend it, and I guess it's going to be outside in the hall. I haven't been to the Y for a while, but you guys can figure it out. You're smart. Thank you for coming.